Okay. So on page 20, notice how on page 20, notice how we are highlighting again y equals mx plus b. Okay. What we are going to do over the next couple days is we are going to take a scenario and interpret what the m and the b mean in terms of our linear problem. Okay. So slope, does anybody remember the other way we described slope? Another word for slope? What do you remember? Oh, okay. Anything else? I mean, never a bad guess to say monarchs. Okay. What I want you to write down is rate of change. The slope is our rate of change. Key word there being the word rate. Didn't I already give you one? Where I've already given you a pencil today. I know I gave you a pencil already. I'm saying. All right, B. B is the letter that the word blank starts with, and it's another. Oh, never mind. I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna stop trying to get you to guess because it's the Tuesday after a 4-day weekend, and our brains probably aren't there yet. The y-intercept is where we begin. Okay. B for begin. So remember when we're graphing y equals mx plus b, we begin on the y-axis and then we count our slope or our rate of change. Okay. Okay, so we need to be able to read a problem and figure out, hey, this is the starting number and this is the rate. So, Jacob, would you be willing to read example 1 aloud to the class?
There are 10 coconuts at a rate of 2. Coconuts are falling off the tree at a rate of 6 coconuts per week. If you do not pick up any of them.
Okay. We have 10 coconuts at the base of our tree, and the coconuts are falling off to join the 10 coconuts, 6 per week. We need slope and we need y-intercept. Which one of those is a rate of change? How do you know? Because it literally says the word rate, right? So we have a rate of 6 coconuts per week. So our slope is 6. Can you write m equals 6 right there? Circle the word rate or highlight it if you have a highlighter. Okay, rate is an important word. Another word that is going to be important to look for is the word like per. Like if it says 6 coconuts per week, that's important. If it said 6 coconuts each week, that would be an important word. Okay, so then do we have a starting number of coconuts? 10 coconuts is what we start with. Okay. So if I'm going to write y equals mx plus b, I'm going to write y equals 6x plus 10. Y equals mx plus b. What, Austin? Oh, that's dangerous. Be careful. Okay, now here's something that's kind of cool, I think. We do not have to count the x-axis the same as the y-axis. So it says x means weeks. So here's our x-axis. Whoa, hold on. Why do I only have the first quadrant here for you? It's gonna go up. Are we gonna have negative weeks? No, are we gonna have negative coconuts? No, so we just have the first quadrant, okay? So it says that x equals weeks. So I'm gonna put weeks down here and I'm gonna say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Now, if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, am I gonna have enough room on the Y's? It's fine. It always smells like that. Because if I count and I start at 10 and I have to go up 6 over 1, I'm gonna run out of room really fast. Okay, so what do you suppose might be a better number for me to count by? Interesting. But then I'd only get up to like 20. I wouldn't be able to do my slope very much. What if we counted by sixes? Why would 6 be nice?
6, 4, because you have 2 moves in the middle.
Why would 6 be a nice number to count by?
Are you going up by 6?
That's our slope, right? If I count by my slope, then it's easy to count rise over run. Okay, and what do those numbers stand for? Ah, coconuts. Okay. So what I can do is I can say, hey, we have a y-intercept of 10. Well, that would be right here. So I'm going to make my y-intercept of 10. And our slope is 6. So we need to go up 6 over 1. So if I go up 6 and over 1, remember I counted by 6 for the y's, but I counted by 1s for the x's. So that's what it would look like to go up 6 over 1. And this is what it would look like to go up 6 over 1. Hey, 20. Can I give you like an extra piece of paper so you can take notes? Okay, so now we can see, like we can read this graph. Like, oh, hey, well, after like 6 weeks, I'm gonna have, well, that one. After like 4 weeks, I'm gonna have like, I don't know, almost 36 coconuts. Like what? Maybe like 33, 34 coconuts on the ground, right? After 3 weeks, it looks like I'm gonna have not quite 30, maybe 28 coconuts. Okay, so we can do that, or we can say, ooh, I'm gonna have 24 coconuts after 2 weeks. A little bit after 2 weeks. Okay. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Now let's talk about what the slope means. So if our slope is 6, what does that stand for? 6 what?
Because it says it's
The x is weeks, but this is a rate of change. So but it's not just coconuts. It's 6 coconuts per week. Your slope is going to have that word per, P-E-R, in it. Okay, it's going to be a rate every time. So in this case, it is coconuts per week. What does that B, 10, stand for? 10 what?
10 a day. I don't know, something 10 though.
Starting off.
We start with 10 coconuts. That's what that meant. And guys, it's all up in the words, right? 10 coconuts at the base of your tree. We start with 10 coconuts. Okay. Also, it's very dangerous to walk under a coconut tree. Yeah. Yeah. It's also down in Florida when it gets below a certain temperature. I can't remember the temperature, but the iguanas,
They freeze and
they can't move and they fall out of trees. That's also dangerous for you because they could fall on you when they're big.
If they can't move, then they just can't eat you, so you can just.
No, but they could fall on you and they're big. They could hurt you. They could bonk your head. They can dent your car. After done with this. Okay. All right. Now, what if I asked you, hey, how many coconuts will there be at the base of the tree after 3 weeks? Okay. Well, I can go, hey, here's 3 weeks. It looks like maybe 28-ish, but let's like maybe do the math. Okay.
3 times 3 is 28.
Okay, so you're saying that 3 weeks means I'm gonna take 6 times 3 and then add 10 to it? How do you guys feel about that? Okay, so if I wanna know how many coconuts after 3 weeks, I can say 6 times 3 plus 10. How many coconuts?
20.
We have 28
It is 28.
coconuts. Yeah.
You said 3 times 3 is 28 though. Oh, I can't see you anymore. I can see something like. No, I'm putting 88.
Okay, now the tree will have no more coconuts when there are 52 coconuts at the base of the tree. How many weeks will this occur? Okay, so we can do one of two things. We can find 52 up here and figure out which X value it is. Okay, or if I take Y equals 6X plus 10, where am I going to put 52 coconuts? Am I going to say 6 times 52 plus 10? No. Remember, X meant what? X meant weeks. So if I'm giving you 52 coconuts, are you going to put it in for X? No, we're going to put it in for Y. So 52 equals 6X plus 10. We have to solve using algebra. How do I solve that? We can minus 10 first. So 42. Seven what?
7 eggs. 7 coconuts.
7 weeks.
Coconuts. Dang.
There are 52 coconuts after 7 weeks. Easy there, Cash. Not to throw everything. Okay, so once you have your Y equals mx plus b, we just got to figure out what is the X, what is the Y, where do we put in our numbers? Okay. Okay. I want you to go to example 3. And I want you to figure out which one the M is and which one the B is. Oh, you can do it. Read through number 3. You and your partner can work together. Which one's M, which one's B? Okay.
No, it's always 7. I was thinking of the
There's two numbers. You have a 50-50 shot of getting it right. All right. Is 10 the M or the B?
Wait, what'd you say?
M or B?
B.
We begin paying $10. Then there is a 50-cent fee for each song. That word each is important
How would each important?
because that's kind of like a per PER
And like,
rate that signifies our rate. So we have y equals 0.50x plus 10. That's our y equals mx plus b. Okay. Now, I like this example because it can kind of show off my age a little bit. When I was in high school, we didn't have Spotify. We literally had to download songs and burn them onto CDs to play to listen to them.
burn them? Why you gotta burn them? Like, what?
Like we had to make our own CDs. Or we had
How
Air-
does CDs even work?
iPods. What?
Uh,
Okay. So X means songs. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Go ahead and count songs at the bottom. Okay. Now, our rate is 50 cents. If I count by halves, or even if I count by ones, I am going to run out of room. Okay? So if you have a y-intercept that is significantly bigger, this is what we can do. We can say, hey, this is 0, but I'm going to skip a bunch of numbers. I'm going to skip a bunch of numbers, and I'm going to start at 10. And then I'm going to go to 10.5, and then I'm going to go to 11. And then I'm going to go to 11.5. Why would I decide to do that?
Because it's half.
Yeah.
It's 50 cents, man.
Yeah, our rate is 0.5. So if I count by 0.5, I'm helping myself out a little bit. Okay, so this means, hey, I'm skipping some numbers to save some room. I'm going from 0 to 10.
It only goes up to 14.5.
That's fine. No, we don't. Because I'm going to plot my 10. That's my B, right? And I'm going to go up 0.5 over 1. Up 0.5 over 1. Thanks, Kato. Now, I'm going to save us a little bit of time, and we're not going to actually solve these out. But if I said, what is the cost of downloading 15 songs? Would we put 15 in for X or for Y? $15 songs. Does X represent songs or does Y represent songs? X represents songs. So here I would put 15. And we'd solve that out. What if I wanted to know if our cost is 32, how many songs? What would we do in that scenario?
32 equals 0.50.
Okay, 32 is what we use for Y instead of X.
That's what we did last time, then.
Okay, so this is what you're gonna do. You only have 2 problems for homework. It's page 22. Get there.